I'm going to try to make this as quick and as simple as I can. I've got a 93 Ninja 250 bad valve, bent valve should say, caused by auto light spark plugs. I would have never believed it could have been as horrible as it really was. But here we are. I've already repaired it once. The valve's bent too bad, it wouldn't hold up. So right now I'm in the breakdown process. You can see the fairings, the body of the tank. I've already taken all that down. That's the easy part. If you can't figure that part out, you're probably not mechanically inclined enough to go any deeper. So right here you can see I've already removed these two bolts. I've removed both from both sides already. That's these guys right here. You got a bolt and a nut on the back side. These are 12 millimeters. So get you either two 12 millimeter sockets or a socket and a wrench to put on the back side of it. Once they break loose, you should be able to spin these free by hand. But those are on both sides. I think what I'm going to try to do to save stripping these things out, because I've removed them several times, I'm going to leave these attached. They shouldn't get in the way. Yeah, this is where I'm going to pause now and pick it up in a second later. Remove these bolts, remove this very large bolt, which is right here. That attaches this bracket for the radiator to the engine itself. This is a 14 millimeter. Only threads a little bit, so once you've gone about an inch of the way out, you can wiggle this free. Be sure you have drained your antifreeze, which is right here. Alright, all the bolts removed, radiator supported basically by the hose from the thermostat here. Before we dig into the engine again just yet, we're going to need to remove the bolts for the exhaust header. Both sides, you can see down here, they're linked together. So you get those out, then you're going to come all the way back around to your foot peg here. Release that bolt there. We're going to do that on both sides and work on getting this exhaust out of the way, and then we'll get up into the head. Okay, so something we'll point out with the exhaust. You can see I've already removed both bolts, I should say both nuts, from the fixed bolts on each side of the exhaust. What we have are these brackets here that kind of act as the union. Let's pull those together. And if you notice, we got this round sleeve. That would be this right here, already removed from the other side. That pops right out of there to help keep tension and wedge that in there. The bolts, the nuts I should say, are 10 millimeter, not surprising. And your bolt back here you're going to remove is a 14. Okay, the exhaust is brought down. Another pretty simple process. Safest if you have two people, but I managed to bring this down pretty controlled. One recommendation, put these small nuts back on the bolts for the exhaust header. And just so you know what you're getting into back here, here's the rear foot peg, here's the 14 millimeter bolt, right in there. The flange for your exhaust, or the muffler I should say in this instance, is on the back side, and on the back side is another nut. So once you bust this loose, you should be able to spin the back side off by hand. There's a little bit of tension on it, but not much. Once you've taken out both, it's going to want to come down, so keep it supported. Alright, one step closer, and I think we're about ready to dismantle a little bit more along the lines of the head, get this cover open. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and move the radiator in its entirety out of the way. That was a bit simpler than what it seems to be with this mess of wires and brackets going on. Disconnect these plugs here for the sensor in the radiator. That would be these two. You can see there's blue and white. The blue, in my case, was right here on this first prong that is horizontal. The white was on the second, which is vertical. Right here on the back of the coil pack, you've got the black wire that'll be on the bottom, the red wire that'll be on the top. That would be these two right here with little boots on them. That'll save you from having to remove these bolts and fool with that extra junk. On this end, you've got kind of the opposite because these are flipped. The red wire here on the bottom, and here this one on mine is actually green with brown stripe. So red on the bottom, green on the top, and you've got this plug, which it's the only thing near here that'll need to be plugged back in, so that should be kind of difficult to get confused with anything else. Once you've done that, you can pretty much undo this hose anywhere you want to. I think when I read, what they recommended was breaking it off somewhere around here. Not sure that that's necessary, so I'm just going to pull it loose probably right here where the cap is, and get this thing down and out of the way. Alright, radiator's gone. That really is, I think, about the ideal spot to remove it. You also have this little overflow line too that comes from, or goes to the reservoir, I should say. I've already removed the 4 10mm bolt heads. Just pick this up. Slide it right out. And here we are on the underside. So you got your valves and rockers, and I'll get in this now and see exactly what's gone wrong. It looks like it's for sure the same thing that happened last time. Right back there. Looks like that valve and spring are cockeyed, and my rocker's been shoved in the corner. So, yep, definitely not good. So now it's my turn to put this camera down again. I'll bolt a few of these and see where it takes me.